Calling case 210-449-6901. People of the state of Michigan versus Alexis Harvey. Defendant's charge is 1 count of assault aggravated.
Appearance, please. For the record, Carmen Christina Rader on behalf of the people.
Rakidia Hall on behalf of Alexis Harvey. Sir, may you unmute and state your full name for the record?
What?
Okay, Mr.
Same name
State
again.
your full name,
Alexis
Mr. Harvey.
All right, today is the date set for strike that the defendant has been brought before the court on a tether violation. And according to the report, according to the report, he's never, well, this is instant, but he never went to the place where he was tethered to, and then his tether was, the battery was low, so they when they picked him up. Ms. Hall?
Your Honor, that is correct. Mr. Harvey is currently in between homes. We are actually asking that the tether be removed. He understands he has to appear for court, and he was on the way to charge his tether, contrary to what the report stated.
Well, I'm surprised it took him that long to pick him up if he was never at the tether location. So what's his charge?
It's aggravated assault, Your Honor, and the alleged incident date for this case was in 2021.
Mr. Harvey, if I remove the tether, are you going to come to court though?
Yes, ma'am. When is the court date?
Well, I'm not there yet. I'm still trying to see if you're going to come to court. Ms.
Yes.
Ritter, any response from the people?
Yes, Judge. So, as stated in the tether report, Judge, we were there to charge the device. So the device did shut down, and there's no verification for a house address for Mr. Harvey. But in addition to that, Judge, according to my notes, on November 16th of 2023, Mr. Harvey failed to appear at a pre-trial conference that the court set for, I'm sorry, November 15th. There was a pre-trial conference at 1:30, and Mr. Harvey failed to appear at that time. The court issued habeas in the amount of $1,000, 10%. So if the court, the habeas history for this case, Your Honor, I'm going to ask the court not to remove the tether at this time.
When is the court date? When is his court date?
Sorry, March 6th. I'm sorry.
So his court date is next Thursday. What is he scheduled for? Pre-trial, is it a first time pre-trial? No, he already came. Did the complaining witness show up at the last pre-trial?
Your Honor, to be candid with the court, I don't have no complaint with this appear at that pre-trial conference.
This is my problem, and I think I'm gonna vote. I mean, he may or may not appear, which is not gonna be good if you don't appear, Mr. Harvey. If he doesn't have an address, then putting him on a tether is equivalent to no bond. They're not gonna release him without an address. So I'm gonna remove the tether.
Okay.
You're trying to do some talking, but you need to do a lot of listening.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I'm gonna remove the tether because if he doesn't have a address they can verify, they're not gonna give him the tether. You have a court date next Wednesday. If you miss that court date, then you're probably gonna get arrested again because I'm gonna put a high bond on your case.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So you have to come in person, 36th District Court, or Or if you're able to zoom in, but it sounds like you need to come in person, 36th District Court, okay?
Okay, am I going to Christian,
No,
what's that?
Mr. Harvey, you will be released without a tether.
Okay, well, was that a shelter?
You can go to the shelter, yes.
What was that shelter called? Christian?
The shelter that you were Your Honor, may I go have a breakout room, Mr. Harvey?
Sure, yes, because, okay, thank you, yes, ma'am. It's 11:30, I need to start my trial. All right, what are you all doing with Stevenson?
We're gonna have a bench trial, please, or we're gonna set it for bench trial, please. And
What are we doing on Robinson?
Same thing, we're actually a jury trial with that one. Mr. Donaldson,
Well, Robinson is at 9:06.
right, we're making a jury.
Oh, the people are ready to proceed? You confusing me.
Oh, actually, okay, I'm gonna stand corrected.
9:06,
Yeah, I was,
Robinson.
yeah, I'm gonna have a motion on that.
Are the people are able to proceed
On the 2020.
on both of them?
No.
Do you have your witnesses on either one of them?
I have my witnesses on the 2020.
23.
That person appeared before? It's at 9:06.
Let me just recheck my notes.
Okay,
I haven't seen it.
okay.
I noticed that they're required. Judge Mr. Donaldson has been trying to get in all morning. Doing without a breakout. The court would let him come in.
They've been trying to get in all morning.
No, he has, I didn't mean to say that, but that is not what I meant to say.
Okay,
He's been texting me all morning.
yeah, because she was here getting that.
Never mind.
Okay. All right, I'm ready on. Ms. Stevenson, please note that at 11:28, I'm locking my meeting.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, I'm ready on Stevenson. This is recalling case number 146081301, people versus Marquise Stevenson. Who's going on?
I can do that.
Okay.
Your Honor, Mr. Stevenson has indicated that he would like to waive his rights incident to a jury trial, and he would like to set this matter for a bench trial.
All right, the court continues to not guilty plea and sets the matter for trial. With respect to the trial, Mr. Stevenson, do you understand you have a right to a jury trial?
Yes, ma'am.
And are you giving up your right to the jury trial, and having the case heard by me? I need Ms. Robinson to sit in the chair. Okay, and have the matter heard by me, is that what you want to do?
Yes, ma'am.
Has anyone threatened you in any way or promised you anything, to get you to give up your right to a jury trial?
No, ma'am.
Any objection from the people?
No, Your Honor.
Having no objection from the people, finding that the waiver has been made freely, knowingly, and voluntarily, the court, sets the matter for waiver trial. May 2nd. (10:30). Anything further?
Nothing, Your Honor.
Nothing for Mr. Stevenson.
All right, you're all set, sir.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Have a good day.
All right, you also, thank you.
Can we do Ms. Tucker triplets in this call? Yes.
Was that the only person on the screen, is it? Why is Mr. Harvey here? We sent him to the breakout room. Can the jail go back? Can the jail go back to the breakout? All right, I'm ready on Tucker triplet. Case number 204473901, People versus Christine Tucker Triplett. Defendant is charged with operating while intoxicated. Today is the day set for review. Appearance, please. Sir, you can come up. Is that the defendant?
Yes.
Rakidia Hall on behalf of Kristen Tucker Triplett. Ma'am, may you unmute and state your full name for the record?
Kristen Tucker Triplett.
Today is the day set for review. Ms. Tucker Triplett was placed on a 15-month probation in October. And she has done things, so she's done things, but she still has a little bit of ways to go. October. Will she be finished at the halfway point in May, or does she need a longer time?
Your Honor, I believe that she needs a longer time. Is that accurate, Ms. Tucker Triplett?
Is it in May, like to complete everything?
My
Yes.
question is, will you be completed by May, or do you need longer than May? May is the halfway point.
Yeah, I could have it completed by May.
Court is going to set the matter for May 17th at 10 a.m. Anything further?
Yes, Your Honor. Ms. Tucker Triplett has been testing randomly 3 times per month. All of her screens has been negative for the prohibited substances. We are asking that her testing be decreased to 1 time per month.
Yes.
Thank you, Your Honor. Nothing further.
All right, then we're all set. Have a great day. Stay safe. Yes,
I have a
ma'am.
quick, so you just to clarify, you said May 17th at what time?
10 o'clock.
10 o'clock. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. All right. I'm gonna try Ms. Robinson again, but if she doesn't come, then I'm gonna pass it. I'm ready for the trial. I don't understand why it's hard to follow the instructions. Case numbers 154516701, 234549201, the People versus Valita Robinson. Defendant is charged with false unemployment compensation and assault or assault battery. Today is the date set for final pretrial conferences. Appearances, please.
For the record, Your Honor, Christina Rivera on behalf of the people.
Janice Stevenson appearing on behalf of Ms. Felita Robinson. Ms. Robinson, ma'am, please say your full name.
Felita Lynette Robinson.
How are we proceeding?
On behalf of Ms. Robinson, Your Honor, we would look for dismissal for the complainant's failure to appear.
Ms. Ritter.
Your Honor, so it looks like the final pretrial conference was set by the court, either requiring the complainant witnesses to appear or requiring the people to confirm that the people can proceed with respect to both cases. It looks like the complainant witness with respect to case number ending in 492. Mr. Lyon Robinson is not in the waiting room, and I don't have information as to why the complainant witness is not present, nor do I have information that we are able to proceed with that case, Your Honor. So with respect to that case, the people will not be able to proceed. With respect to case number ending in 167, Your Honor, I don't have an indication that the people are able to proceed with cooperation of the necessary witnesses with respect to that case. So with that being said, Your Honor, the people will not be able to proceed on both counts.
Court is going to grant defense counsel's motion. The matters are dismissed without prejudice. Ms. Robinson, we will mail you copies of the orders of dismissal for your records. Have a great day. Stay safe.
Thank you so much.
Welcome. I'm ready on Brown. This is case number 224. Oh, I gotta unlock the meeting at 12. So that what's called it. Case number 224495601, the people versus Antoine Brown, middle initial F. Defendant is charged with 1 count of assault or assault and battery. Today is the day set for trial. Appearances, please.
For the record, Your Honor, Christina Ritter, on behalf of the people, I have the officer in charge present in the courtroom who is seated to my left. They should be here for the record.
Yes. Good morning, Detective Kelly James.
For the record, Your Honor, Janice Stevenson appearing on behalf of Mr. Antoine Brown. Mr. Brown, sir, please say your full name.
Antoine F. Brown.
All right, today is the day set for trial. Are the people ready to proceed?
The people are ready to proceed, Your Honor.
Is the defense ready to proceed?
Bench is ready to proceed, Your Honor.
Sir, you may be seated. Any preliminary matters before we proceed?
Yes, Judge, very briefly, with respect to the order of sequestration, we're asking the court to put in motion the order of sequestration with respect to the, with exception to the officer in charge of seated in the courtroom. I mean, this is, warrior.
Joining the people's motion for sequestration.
Motion is granted. It's mutual with the exception of the officer in charge. Anything further?
Nothing for you.
Will people be making an opening statement?
Yes, sir.
All right, you may.
Thank you, Your Honor. So, Your Honor, this case brought before the court today really is a incident that happened over a dispute about some money. So the complainant witness is Joy Fleming, on April 23rd, 2022. She came to encounter with the defendant, Mr. Antoine Brown. Mr. Brown walked over across the street to Ms. Fleming as she was outside hula hooping and began to go back and forth as far as a verbal altercation with Ms. Fleming. At that time, Your Honor, we'll hear testimony from Ms. Fleming that Mr. Brown grabbed her by the neck, and then she tried to get away by throwing her hula hoop at Mr. Brown. Your Honor, again, the complainant witness and the defendant, you know each other, and I just want the court to listen to the testimony of the complainant witness and explain what happened on the day in question. Your Honor, after hearing that testimony, Your Honor, the people believe that the court will come back with a verdict of guilty for count 1 assault and battery.
On behalf of the defense at this time?
On behalf of the defense, Your Honor, we want the court to listen to the complaining witness testimony as well, Your Honor. We want the court to compare that testimony to what we believe will be some conflicting evidence that will absolutely indicate that complaining witness is being untruthful. And we're going to ask at the end of the cruise of the court find my client not guilty.
All right, the people may call the first witness.
Thank you, Your Honor. At this time, the people would like to call Joy Fleming.
I apologize. What name did you say?
Joy Fleming.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
On the other trial. Were you waiting from you checking in? On Zoom or were they coming?
They're actually checking with her.
Oh, okay. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Yes. You may be seated. All right, Ms. Ritter.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good morning, Ms. Fleming, or good afternoon, Ms. Fleming, I'm sorry.
And no, it's still morning. We got 19 more minutes in the morning.
I'm sorry, Your Honor, it feels like.
It does feel like 3 o'clock, but it's still morning.
Good morning, Ms. Fleming.
Good morning.
Ms. Fleming, can you state your full name for the record? And Ms. Fleming, there's a microphone right in front of you, it does bend up and down, so if you could talk. Can you hear me? Yes, I can, so if you could talk directly into the microphone. Okay. Well, you know what, Madam Court Reporter, can you bring your machine? Let's just. Yeah. You can sit in that chair.
Okay, I'll let the judge know. Okay. Okay, yes, sir. All right.
Okay, Ms. Ritter?
Thank you, Your Honor. Okay, Ms. Fleming, again, so the microphone is adjustable, so if you can keep your voice up and speak directly to the microphone, so that way the court can hear you, and the court reporter can hear you as well, okay? Okay, all right, so Ms. Fleming, I wanna go back to April 23rd of 2022, do you recall that day? Yes. And on that day, were you at a location on Steel Street? Yes. And is Steel Street in the city of Detroit? Yes. And is that the county of Wayne? Yes. Okay, and what is located on the Steel Street? My house. Okay, and were you home on this day in question? Yes. Okay, and is there anything that happened on that day that brings you into court today? I got assaulted by Mr. Brown. Okay, so let's back up. When did you first come in contact with Mr. Brown? In 2019. Okay, and what is your affiliation with Mr. Brown? We're neighbors. Okay, and how long have you guys been neighbors? Since 2018. Okay, And can you describe, before this incident in question, can you describe your relationship with Mr. Brown?
We were neighbors. We were the best neighbors. I took care of his kids. He was working on my house. We were neighbors. He was helping me fix my house and I was paying him for it.
Okay, now, when you say he was working on your house, what type of work did he do to your home?
Water heaters, everything. He was supposed to be doing the bathroom upstairs.
Okay, and when you say he was supposed to do the bathroom upstairs on April 23rd of 2022, did he start working on that bathroom?
No, because I had asked him to refund me my money by March 1st if he didn't start.
Okay, so at this point, on the April 23rd, 2022 date, you had already paid him to work on the bathroom?
Yes.
Okay, do you recall how much money you paid him at the time?
I gave him $1,000 at one time and all at once, and that was the down deposit. And then he asked me for a couple of $100 more for it, and I had been giving him money over the thing, but the only thing I gave him for the bathroom was $1,200.
Okay, now, I wanna go back to your testimony prior to that, you said that he worked on your home before, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And on those prior occasions, had he finished the work that he done to your home?
Some of it, yeah.
Okay, and did he get paid in exchange for that?
Yes, he did.
Okay, so going back to April 23rd, what happened when you saw Mr. Brown on that day?
I was outside hula hooping. Me and my neighbors were all outside. He came across the street yelling and screaming about this, that, and the other, about I ain't giving you your money and.
Okay, so let me stop you right there, Ms. London, without telling me what was said. What happened between you and Mr. Brown at this time?
He came across the street yelling, he grabbed me by the neck, I hit him with my hula hoop. He grabbed me again, I hit him again with my hula hoop. And then I was like, I'm about to call the police. The neighbors were videotaping. So I had it on tape for real, so.
Okay, so let me just step back 1 minute, Ms. London. So, when you say Mr. Brown is your neighbor, is he your next door neighbor or where does he live?
Across the street.
Across the street from? Okay, and at that point, when you and Mr. Brown were going back and forth in a verbal altercation, where were you?
In front of my house.
Okay, so where was Mr. Brown?
He was across the street, he came across the street from his house.
Okay, so he came from his house, came across the street in front of your house, correct?
Yes.
Okay, and now the person you're referring to as Mr. Brown, do you see that person in the courtroom?
Yes.
And can you point that person out and tell me what that person is wearing?
A green sweater.
Can you describe anything else, an article of clothing or description of Mr. Brown?
He had beads, he has a beard, he has curly hair.
Judge, may the record reflect the identification of the defendant, Mr. Antoine Brown. The record reflects the identification of Antoine Brown. Thank you. And at this point, was there anyone else outside when Mr. Brown grabbed you by the neck the first time?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, and where were these people located outside?
Standing in front of my house and one was across the street sitting on her porch.
Okay, and can you describe how Mr. Brown grabbed you by the neck? According to your testimony? Do you recall?
It was more of he kind of hit me across my face and I kind of ducked and then he grabbed me by my neck.
Okay, so you describe how he grabbed you by the neck.
He tried to choke me.
Okay.
And I hit him with my hood.
Okay, so did he attempt to grab you by the neck or did he actually touch your neck?
He actually touched me. I actually had a bruise on the side of my face.
Okay, and how long did this physical altercation between you and Mr. Brown last?
Probably less than 2 minutes.
Okay, so after the 2 minutes that this incident occurred, what did you do?
Call the police.
Okay, and do you recall how long it took for the police to come to your home?
It was maybe an hour later.
Okay, and did you speak with the police at the time?
Yes, I did.
Do you recall how many officers showed up to your home that day?
No, I don't.
Okay, and did you make a police report or a statement to the officers?
I believe I made a statement and then another officer came back to talk to me later.
Okay, and Going back to your prior testimony, when Mr. Brown grabbed you by the neck, did you give him permission to touch you or grab you by the neck in any way?
No,
Okay. May I have one more, Judge?
man.
I have no further questions at this time, Judge.
Cross examination.
Good morning, Ms. Fleming.
Good morning.
So, so how many times did Mr. Brown grab you by the neck during this incident?
He grabbed me by the neck once, he hit me once,
Okay, and he hit you where?
across the face.
Okay, did he hit you with his hand or?
Yes,
Okay, all right.
that was the first thing he did. He hit me before he grabbed me.
Okay, so he hit you and then he grabbed you?
Yes,
Okay, and then he grabbed you around the neck.
yes.
Okay, and so did you say he grabbed you around the neck twice?
It's all on video. I really didn't watch the video. I was kind of shocked.
Answer the question about.
I have no idea.
Okay, okay. So if I show you the video, will that help you remember what happened?
Yeah,
Okay, all right. Your Honor, may I share on the screen?
sure.
Thank you. So I'm gonna just say I had a little bit of trouble with this yesterday.
You said you had trouble.
I had trouble, showing the video yesterday. All right. Okay, so, I'm gonna just have you take a look at the screen. And if you could, can you see the screen right there?
Not really.
Oh.
I'm sorry.
You can stand up if you need
I
to.
can still. I wear glasses.
Oh,
I broke my glasses. It's okay. I can.
Okay, all right.
do you need to get closer?
Just a little.
Okay, go ahead. You need a glasses where I understand.
Who in the glare? Okay.
Okay, can you, tell us what's described in that picture right there on the video?
This is probably after he struck me.
Okay, you believe that's after he hit you?
I know it is.
Okay, who
Because
is,
they didn't start taping until after he struck me.
okay, all right, so who's in that video right there?
That's my dog Budweiser. That's me and Mr. Brown.
Okay, that's your dog there?
Yes.
Okay, and where are
I'm
you?
sorry, Judge, can she use the pointer? I don't know if it's gonna be.
Oh.
But I don't know her.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, so thank you for using that pointer. So where in that video are you?
I'm standing right there.
Okay, so just so that the record is clear, there's a woman, it looks like there's a woman in a green sweater and a pair of jeans, is that you?
Yes,
Okay, and there's a dog in the picture as well, right? That's Budweiser.
yes,
Anybody else in the picture with the dog?
Mr. Brown.
Okay, that's Mr. Brown, and it looks like he's wearing a white t-shirt or something like that. Okay. And where are you all located in this picture?
In front of my house.
Okay, so that's your house with the grass right there?
Yes.
All right, okay. So I'm gonna start the video. Who made this video before I keep going?
My neighbor,
All right,
who I,
Ashley. And I have this slower, so, I'm gonna stop that just for a moment. So it's your testimony, that during this incident, Mr. Brown hit you in the face with, and that he choked you twice? Okay, can you tell us where in the video the choking happened?
I just told you I never really seen the video. I just gave it to the police. I really never watched this video. But
Is that a video of the incident?
yes,
Okay,
so he hit me and everything before all this happened. That's what they got on video, was him coming at me again and me defending myself with the hooligan.
okay, so this is a video of the incident,
Yes.
correct? And who made the video?
My neighbor,
Okay, do you know why they were making the video?
because it was already a threatening thing and I didn't want anybody to get
No, that
involved.
was just a speculation.
Okay,
Sustained.
thank you. Did you ask them to video?
No,
Okay, they just, of their own volition, of their own free will, they just started making a video?
instead of joining in on the fight, they said they would video because they didn't want to get in the middle of it.
Okay, all right. So at what point though does Mr. Brown choke you? Let me play it again.
He did choke me.
In this incident?
Yes, in this incident.
Oh,
He
okay.
hit me and choked me and pushed me and a bunch of stuff. This is the end of the result of that, of us just swinging back and forth.
That's the end of it?
That's the end of it. He
Okay,
walked
well,
across the
let's go
street and
back.
everything. They got the end of it.
They have the end of the video?
But they're willing to testify.
Okay, are they here today to testify? Okay, all right. So could you take a look at the screen right there?
Okay,
Okay, so at that point, has Mr. Brown just come across the street?
no,
So he had come across the street before?
yes. What you mean at that point? I'm not understanding.
Well, I just want to know if the video shows him hitting you and choking you.
Judge objection as the issue.
Okay, all right. So is this the beginning of the incident?
No,
Okay, but there is video of something that happened before this?
no.
Okay. So,
I take that back. I
I
do-
think I'm finished right now.
Okay.
I have video of him
Hold on,
coming over to
ma'am,
my house.
ma'am, hold on. Come back to the witness.
So is it true that, you and Mr. Brown were having an argument before he came over to your side of the street?
No, not that day.
You weren't, okay, that day, you weren't yelling at him, he was yelling at you from across the street?
No, he came straight over.
Okay, was there any conversation before he came over?
Not that day. On the 19th of April, it was.
Okay, so is it your testimony that he came across the street on the 22nd of April and 23rd of April and just hit you?
Judge objection was relative. In part, she mentioned another day.
Overruled. Can you stop sharing your screen?
What's the question?
You asked her, is it her testimony that he just came across the street and started hitting her?
Yes, yelling, screaming.
Okay, is there any prior conversation between you before he comes over?
No,
All right. So, would you agree that the video shows you in Mr. Brown's face, kind of?
yes,
And would you agree that, the video shows Mr. Brown pushing you away from him?
no.
You want me to show it to you again?
Looks like he's swinging on me again.
Okay, does it look like he's swinging on you while you're in his face?
He's in front of my house.
Okay.
I'm not in his face, he's in mine.
Okay. Do you have a proof the video shows you have an object in your hand.
I hula hoop outside on a regular basis. I was outside hula hooping like I always do.
Okay.
I don't have an object, I was hula hooping.
Okay. Would you agree that the video shows you in Mr. Brown's face holding this hula hoop?
Objection, it has to be answered.
Would you agree that the video shows you in Mr. Brown's face while you're holding this hula hoop?
Yes,
Would you agree that the video doesn't show anything about Mr. Brown choking you?
I don't see anything, I see him swinging.
Would you agree that the video shows Mr. Brown pushing you up in one time?
I've seen it, yes.
And how much money did Mr. Brown owe you at the time of this incident?
I asked him for $1,300 back.
Okay, and, were you to an agreement that you would be returning that money to you?
Why is your voice so low? I can barely hear you.
Thank you, I apologize for that. And you're having trouble hearing me too, I'm sorry. Okay, all right. So were you and Mr. Brown in agreement about him returning money to you?
I was trying to make an agreement, but he told me to call him back during business hours, which was 9 to 5. This started on March 1st.
Okay, so by the time this incident happens, you've been trying to get your money back for about a month and a half?
Yes,
You angry about that?
yes,
Okay, all right. Were you angry about that on the day of this incident?
I'm still angry.
Okay, and you still haven't got your money back?
I'm going to small claims court, but I have nothing signed to prove that he owed me anything because we never put nothing in writing.
So it's really hard for you to get your money back?
Yes.
And you're really mad about that?
Yes.
Okay, all right, I don't have anything for you.
Can you correct?
Yes, Your Honor. Very briefly. So, this Fleming, I'm just gonna have, Ms. Stevenson put the video back on the screen, just for a second. And as of the record, Your Honor, the video is starting at 0. This is 0. Okay. So, Ms. Fleming, you had an opportunity to view the video, we played it for you, got kind of close up on the screen, you could see, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so, would you agree that, that video was relatively short, I guess, a snippet of the altercation between you and Mr. Brown?
Yes.
Okay, and you testified that Mr. Brown had came over to your side of the street in front of your house, correct?
Yes.
Okay, and you testified that the, part where Mr. Brown choked you and hit you was before or after this, video?
Before.
Before, okay, so you'll agree that this video doesn't show the whole incident between you and Mr. Brown?
Yes.
Okay, no further questions.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. You may step down and you are free to remain in court. Anything further on behalf of the people?
Doesn't further on behalf of the people.
The people rest?
I'm sorry, Your Honor, the people do rest.
Okay, then, anything on behalf of anything on behalf of the defense at this time?
At this time, Your Honor, defense moves for, directed verdict. Okay, so Your Honor, even considering the evidence in the light most favorable to the people do have a burden of proof beyond a reasonable doubt that the events transpired the way the complaining witness says they transpired, Your Honor. I believe that the complaining witness's credibility is fatally wounded, Your Honor, by giving a description by her own testimony to the police, and then in this court, which absolutely categorically contradicts the video evidence, Your Honor. Ms. Fleming testified that Mr. Brown came upon her, hit her in the face. I believe she said with an open hand, Your Honor, that he grabbed her by the neck, that he choked her, and that during this altercation, which she says lasted about 2 minutes, she was able to fend him off with her hula hoop, and that he then choked her again. Your Honor, that's not what the video shows. And it's a video that she indicated she had made, or she people at her with her assistance had made, Your Honor. So at the bottom of all this, by the witness's own testimony, is animosity, venom, bitterness, anger about what she believes Mr. Brown owing her $1,300, that she is not able to substantiate her claim. She can't move it through small claims court. At the time of the incident, it's been about 1.5 months that she says she's been asking for money. She's not getting it, and she can't make her claim in small claims court. She's mad about it back in 2023. She's still mad about it today. That is a motive to fabricate. Her rendition of the incident is not at all supported by video evidence, which she provided herself, Your Honor, that she says that there are witnesses who could testify to this incident. They are not here today, so the people do have a burden of proof, Your Honor. Everything rests squarely on this witness's testimony. It is not credible. It is not enough to allow the people to meet their burden of proof, and we're asking that the court find Mr. Brown guilty.
Response.
Your Honor, so I'll keep the people's response very brief. It looks like the defense counsel brings up credibility issues in the people's case. One, that is a question of fact or a trial of fact, so I am going to ask the court to deny the defense counsel's motion for directed verdict in that respect. But also, Your Honor, the defense counsel did raise that Ms. Fleming is here to testify, and the person, I guess, who recorded the video, which it was another person, not Ms. Fleming, for the record, or any other person who witnessed this incident, did not come to testify. As the court knows, and as the court has seen, there has been many cases by the people where the people only had one witness. So I don't necessarily agree that just because the people have one witness that we're not able to prove our verdict. With that one witness, Your Honor, the court heard the testimony from Ms. Fleming, again, viewed a video, and with respect to the video and the testimony, Your Honor, and coupled with the fact that the people don't necessarily need multiple witnesses to prove their case, and the issue that the defense counsel is bringing is a credibility issue. Again, I'm going to ask the court to deny the defense counsel's motion for the record.
Ms. Steve, finish your motion. Did you want to respond?
Just asking the court to take a look at the witness's testimony and compare that to the video evidence, Your Honor. Witness by her own admission says that the video shows Mr. Brown pushing her out of his face, and that's the only physical contact other than her hitting him with the hula hoop that the video shows. So don't believe that this witness's testimony, all the people have, is enough to allow them to meet.
The court, considering a motion for directed verdict in the in a light most favorable to the non-moving party, that being the people. And considering the evidence that the people have presented with respect to the charge of assault or assault and battery, the court is going to deny defense counsel's motion. I believe that the people have met their burden with respect to the motion.
Thank you, Your Honor. At this time, the defense is gonna call Antoine Bryant.
All right. Ms. Brown, stand where you are and state your name.
Antoine F. Brown.
And Mr. Brown, do you understand that you have a right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Is it your intention to give up your right to remain silent and testify in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Excuse me 1 second, Judge. Can I just have a brief?
Yes. While she's in the hall with respect to that case, let's bring in Mr. Humphrey and his client. Maybe you could, your witnesses are in the hall, you said?
They are good.
Bring them in. I think your OIC was in the hall too.
And the officer, one of all good.
Yes. You and your client can be seated. I'm switching up. All right, I'm gonna call, the individuals that just came in the courtroom, just stand across the front, like stand, no, but on that side, but yeah, just across the front. These are your witnesses too?
So there are 2 minor witnesses and they're with their mom.
Okay, come up to the front. Come up to the front, come up to the front, and then stand next to the officers, including the mom. All right, this is case number 234497801, the people versus Chester Rogers. The defendant is charged with 2 counts of assault or assault and battery. Today is the date set for trial, and the court set a 12 noon check-in. Appearances, please.
For the record, Your Honor, Christina Renner on behalf of the people. I have my officer in charge, Detective Brown, who is present, standing behind me in the courtroom, and the assisting and arresting officers, Officer Collier, Officer Grove, present as well. Would you like their appearance?
Just the OIC.
Okay.
I'm sorry, good afternoon. I'm Detective Shafika Renetta Brown, Detroit Police Child Abuse Special.
Thank you. Mr. Humphrey, your appearance, please.
Yes, good afternoon, Your Honor. Please, this honorable court, Joseph Humphrey on behalf of Mr. Chester Rogers.
And Mr. Rogers, your name, please. Unmute, Mr. Rogers, unmute.
Chester.
Mr. Rogers broke up. Mr. Rogers.
Chester Rogers.
Okay, thank you. All right, today is the day set for trial. The trial is scheduled to begin at 1:30. Are the people ready to proceed?
Absolutely, people are ready to proceed.
And the other individuals in the courtroom, can you put their names on the record?
Yes, Your Honor. I have both minor complaining witnesses present in the courtroom. I'll start with Ms. Charity Rogers. Can you say your name?
Speak up a little bit for me.
Charity Rogers.
Thank you.
And then I have Christopher Rogers, also a minor complaining witness present. Mr. Rogers, state your name.
Christopher Rogers.
And I have the mother of the 2 minor complaining witnesses present as well. Ms. Moore, please state your name. That's allowed for court.
Tammy.
Thank you. All right, people are ready to proceed. Mr. Humphrey, how are you wishing to proceed? Is defense ready to proceed?
Yes, Your Honor. I guess we'll be presenting ourselves at 1:30. I have to get down in transit, and we'll be ready to start the trial.
Okay, everyone has checked in. The defense is ready to proceed. The people are ready to proceed, and we will proceed at. I'm gonna be honest with you, Mr. Humphrey. You probably have until about 2 o'clock.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
I'm picking up a trial now, and I have to get staff on lunch break. So, we're probably gonna start more like 2 o'clock on the nose if I can finish this trial in the next half hour. Okay?
Yes, ma'am. I will be there by 2 o'clock, if probably before, but I will be there in position, ma'am.
Okay. All right, then we're all set, and I'll see you all at court by 2 o'clock.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, Your Honor. I'm sorry. Yes, Your Honor.
All right.
Just, I have 1 second, I just need to tell mom something real quick.
Okay, yes.
Can we leave the meeting, Your Honor?
Yes, you may.
Okay.
What happened with Alexa Murphy? She didn't go back in with it?
She did.
Oh,
They,
well,
they should
yeah.
have left. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Officers, then I'll see you at 2:00, because I'm finishing up this trial I'm in now. Okay, 2:00. All right. And then the other two witnesses, they can go in the hall with their mom too, but for that trial, we're in recess till 2:00.
Sounds good to you.
All right, Ms. Peterson?
Yes, Your Honor. At this time, the defense is gonna call Mr. Antoine Brown.
All right, Mr. Brown. So I was in the middle of questioning you with respect to your impending testimony. Do you understand that you have a right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
And is it your intention to give up your right to remain silent and testify in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, do you understand that it is your personal decision as to whether you will testify
Yes, ma'am.
in consultation with your lawyer?
Yes, ma'am.
Is the decision for you to give up your right to remain silent and testify, is that your personal decision?
Yes, ma'am.
Has anyone threatened you in any way or promised you anything to get you to give up your right to remain silent?
No, ma'am.
You understand, if you take the stand, I am going to use what you say in my decision for this case,
Yes, ma'am.
whether it is in your favor or not.
Yes, ma'am.
Raise your right hand for me. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And then, while I'm, of course, I'm in no way, shape, or form I can try to finish to get some lunch, get to the trial. Okay?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Okay, you may proceed.
Good afternoon, Mr. Brown, tell everybody your name.
Antoine Brown.
Okay, and let's just go ahead and get right to it. Do you know, Joy Flemings?
Yes, ma'am.
And you're familiar with an incident that occurred between the two of you on April 23rd, 2022?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so can you tell us what happened with that incident?
Well, pretty much how the whole incident started. Sure, we have been going back and forth about the finances. I've been doing, me and Joy, we was going back and forth. She would take my children skating. Me, I'm like the cook on the block. I'm always barbecuing, whatever. I'm cooking stuff for her.
So you had a cordial
Yeah,
relationship?
exchanging. I'm doing work for her. True, she gave me,
But Mr. Brown, I'm gonna interrupt you just for this purpose.
Mhm.
Number one, Ms. Stevenson is probably gonna interrupt you to stop you from giving a narrative, because that's how the court works. And then two, if she does, just let her finish her question
Yes, ma'am.
completely, so I can have a complete record. Ms. Stevenson?
So you, it sounds like you were describing a cordial relationship between you and Ms. Fleming.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so on the date of this incident that brings us to court, were you two getting along?
No,
Okay, when did you come into contact with Ms. Fleming on the day of the incident, right?
yes.
Okay, how did you first come into contact with Ms. Fleming on April 23rd, 2022?
Well, as I was coming out, really, as I was pulling up to my house, Joy was doing something for the last few months.
Okay, but that day, let's just
That
look at
particular
that
day, she
day.
was calling me out my name,
Okay.
screaming, calling me a female dog across the street.
So where were you when she was calling you out?
I was in my driveway.
Okay, and where was she?
She was, walking up down the sidewalk.
Okay, and so do the two of you actually come into close physical proximity of each other?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, how did that happen? Did she come to you or did you go to
I
her?
walked across the street.
Okay, and what happened when you got across the street?
I told her to quit calling me out my name. You know what I mean? Keep my name out of her mouth.
How did she respond to that?
She was walking up on me.
Okay, hold on just a second. So, are you aware that, there was video made of the incident that brings it to?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I'm gonna direct your attention to the screen. Now share my screen.
Right.
Okay. So can you take a look at the screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you able to see it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, does that picture right there, which is a piece of the video, does it accurately depict the initial interaction between you and Ms. Flynn?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you describe to us what's happening? What are you doing in that video?
Honestly, I'm facing away from her, but I'm looking at her.
Okay.
And I'm saying what I'm saying to her.
Okay, and what is she doing?
She coming toward me.
Okay, and so what do you do in response to her coming towards you?
When she get so close or whatever, I push her back on my hand.
Okay, without telling us exactly what she's saying, how's it making you feel with her coming?
I mean, she coming up with the little hulu. I mean, she aggressive.
Okay,
So I backed her off.
okay, and she has a hula hoop in her hand?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, did you think she was gonna do anything with the hula hoop?
I mean, I knew she would.
What did you think she was gonna do?
I knew she was gonna hit me.
Okay, all right. So I'm gonna ask you to look at the screen. What happens, right after this, right here? Describe to us what's happening there.
After I push her off me or whatever the case may be, that's when she starts swinging at me with the hulu.
Okay. What happens right there?
I was trying to get away from you or whatever the case may be, and the whole conversation was going on.
Okay. I'm gonna stop you right there. Do you have, so other than pushing Ms. Fleming away from you, do you have any other, do you initiate any other physical contact against her?
No.
Okay. Does she initiate any physical contact against you?
Yeah, she was hitting me with the hulu.
Okay, all right. Take a look at the screen. About how long does that whole interaction right there last?
Whole situation, a couple minutes, not even that.
Okay. And then how does it end?
I walked away.
Okay. Were you concerned at all as you're walking away that Ms. Fleming might hit you again?
I mean, it was just, at that time, it just was what it was.
Understood. Okay. All right. I don't have any further.
Cross-examination.
Yes, Your Honor. Good afternoon, Mr. Brown.
Good afternoon.
So, Mr. Brown, I'm just gonna ask you a couple questions based off the questions that Ms. Stevenson asked you. And if you don't understand and you need me to repeat it, just let me know, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you. So, Mr. Brown, you said that you and Ms. Fleming had a dispute over some money, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Was it in accordance with you fixing her bathroom?
And it was a total project. It was other stuff I was doing also.
Okay, but this money dispute was over some renovations or some.
It was really piled on because it was other stuff we was doing. We was bargaining. So that's where the misunderstanding came in at.
Okay, and you testified that, Ms. Fleming's usually hula hoops, outside in front of her house, is that correct?
Yeah, she go, I mean, she go up and down the block, she do it in front of the house, she do it everywhere. She roller skate up the block, everything.
Okay, so she usually does this on a regular basis, is that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and you testified that you came across the street to Ms. Fleming's house, correct?
I came across the street. I wasn't in front of her house.
So in that video, where were you standing?
We was in front of her neighbor's house.
Okay, but you came across the street
Yes,
to where
ma'am.
she was, correct? Okay. And is it safe to say that, in that video, you were already across the street when the video started recording, correct?
Oh, yes.
Okay. So I'm just gonna pull this video, just real briefly, Mr. Brown. No. Okay, so this is the beginning of the video. Would you agree, Mr. Brown? The
Yes.
beginning of this video, and you're already across the street, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but yes or no?
Yes.
Thank you. But you testified that you walked across the street.
Yes.
Okay, so is it fair to say that this is not the beginning of your altercation when you came across the street, correct?
Yes.
Okay, and Ms. Simpson, you play the video, sorry. Sorry. So in the video, you just watched the video in court.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so
Yes.
you shoved Miss Fleming.
Yes,
out of
I
the
did.
way, correct?
Yes.
Okay, and you testified that she was in your face,
Yes.
but you came across the street to confront her for calling you names. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, and you testified that you knew that she would hit you with the hula hoop.
Yes.
Okay, so I guess my question is, Mr. Brown, and this is where I want to clarify. Why did you go across the street if you knew that she would hit you?
I didn't know she was gonna hit me, but when I initially went over there, like I spoke before, me and Joy used to have a cordial relationship.
Okay, I'll talk about in this incident.
In this particular incident, I didn't know she was gonna hit me before I got over there.
Okay, so why did you testify that you knew that she would?
Because you read nonverbal when you've been in physical situations.
Say that again?
You read nonverbal when you've been in physical situations.
Okay, so you read her nonverbal of her about to hit you when you came across the
She
street?
jerking, you can even see it in the video.
Right.
No, not before I came, when I was in front of her, yes, I seen it.
Okay, and you still proceeded to stand there while she had the hula hoop in her hand, is that correct?
Because I'm talking to her.
Okay, but at any point, did you go back across the street
Yeah, I went across the street after she hit me.
after she hit you?
Yes, ma'am.
So before, when you read her nonverbal, you didn't go across the street, correct?
Thing is, it was just a reaction. She had my face, I pushed her off, she hit me with the hula hoop. She said my couple words, I left.
Okay, so you watched the video in court quite a few times?
Yes.
Okay, where in the video did she hit you in the face?
She didn't. I said she hit me with the hula hoop. I never said she hit me in the face.
You just testified that she hit you in the face and she's on the hula hoop.
She hit me with the hula hoop. That's what I said.
Okay, did she hit you before that?
After I got her out my face, that's when she started hitting me with the hula hoop.
My question, Mr. Brown. did
No,
hit
she
you
didn't.
before that?
No.
Okay. And you testified that this altercation happened for a couple minutes, is that correct?
Yeah, a little bit less, but yeah, something like that.
Okay, so. Can you
I didn't have a timer, so I don't know. It's around 2 minutes. Maybe
around
more,
2
maybe less, something like
Maybe more,
that.
maybe less, okay, but you agree that this video is 43 seconds, correct?
Okay.
Would you agree?
It's 43 seconds if you said it. I didn't look at no timer.
I'm asking you to look on the screen.
Okay, does it say 43 seconds? It say 43 seconds.
Okay, so you'll agree this is not the complete
Okay,
video?
it don't show me walking over, so
You
yeah, it's
have
not.
to let her finish her question.
Yes, ma'am.
What is your question?
Thank you, girl. You'll agree that this is not the whole incident that happened between you and Ms. Lynise?
Yes.
Okay. I have no further questions.
All right, any redirect?
So, yes, okay, so Mr. Brown, is there one or are there two interactions between you and Ms. Fleming on the day of this incident?
It's only one interaction.
Okay, so does the video that you've seen, the video that's been shown, is that depict the interaction between you and Ms. Fleming?
Some of,
Okay, is there anything that happens after you walk across the street?
after I keep on walking across the street, she's aggressive.
So there's, what does happen is that she keeps following after you
Yes, ma'am.
before you get across the street. So before Is there, take a look at the screen. Is there any physical interaction between you and Joy Fleming on April 23rd, 2022 that happens before what we see in that picture?
No.
Okay. I don't have anything for you.
All right. I'm sorry. Okay, thank you. You may step down. Yeah. Not for a minute. Wait, not for a minute. That officer, what's his last name? Anderson's fault that I was just chuckling right there. It had nothing to do with you all. That was Officer Henderson's fault that I was chuckling, so please forgive me. Anything further on behalf of the defense?
Defense restaurant.
Any rebuttal on behalf of the people?
Not at this time.
Are the people ready for, are the parties ready for closing?
The people are ready for vote.
All right.
For closing.
Okay. I am ready as well.
You may. Thank you. So, Your Honor, this court heard testimony from Ms. Fleming today. And Ms. Fleming testified that on or about April 23rd, 2022, she came into contact with her neighbor, Mr. Brown. Now, Ms. Fleming's testimony is that she's known Mr. Brown and has been neighbors with Mr. Brown since 2018. Ms. Fleming also testified that prior to the day in question, that Mr. Brown had done some improvements to her home on prior occasions. And on this particular occasion, on April 23rd, on or about April 23rd, there was a dispute over some money regarding some work done to her bathroom. Now, Ms. Fleming testified that she was upset at the fact that she asked Mr. Brown for a refund and that Mr. Brown didn't give her that refund by this day in question. She had been asking for the refund for about $1,300 for about a month before this incident. She testified that Mr. Brown came from across the street where he lives to the side where Ms. Fleming lived on while she was hula hooping, which she normally does on a regular occasion, which was testimony from Ms. Fleming that she hula hoops outside. So during her normal course of business of hula hooping, Mr. Brown comes over and Ms. Fleming testified that there was a verbal altercation between her and Mr. Brown. At that point, Mr. Brown had grabbed her neck twice and hit her in the face while she was trying to hula hoop. She also testified that she did have a hula hoop in her hand, and in order to defend herself, she started backing up and swung her hula hoop. Now, Your Honor, I think it's important to pay attention to the testimony given by Ms. Fleming, because in her testimony, she did state truthfully that there was this video of the incident. However, the video that was played on the screen was, as she testified, was just a snippet of what actually happened, Your Honor. And that's important because, Your Honor, it goes to her credibility. Ms. Fleming said the truthful with the court. She told the court what happened. She told the court why there was this altercation between her and Mr. Brown. But more importantly, Your Honor, she told the court during her testimony, I think it was during Ms. Stevens' question, that she was absolutely mad about the $1,300 that she didn't receive that. And I'm asking the court to use their common sense and everyday personal experience that, of course, the average person asking for their money back when they didn't receive a service that they paid for would be mad about it. So she was truthful with that, Your Honor. And I want the court to count that to her credibility as to what happened. She testified that this video was taken by her neighbor and that the incident that's displayed on the video, Judge, was actually after the testimony that she gave with respect to Mr. Brown putting his hand around her neck twice and then him hitting her in the face. So, Judge, I'm asking the court to take that testimony into consideration. And I'm going to ask the court to find Mr. Brown guilty of assault or assault and battery. Thank you.
On behalf of Defendant Brown.
So Ms. Fleming's neighbors, they're the ones who make the video. If there's just if this is just a snippet, why doesn't she bring the rest of it in here and show it to the trier of fact? I think one of the main reasons she probably doesn't do that is because whatever other video there is gonna show Ms. Fleming's aggression. It's her aggression, her yelling across the street at Mr. Brown about this $1,300. She's not just out there working out. She's not just out there hooping. She's over across the street taunting him about this $1,300 that 2 years later, a couple of years later, she's still mad about. She still wants her money. That's what she's yelling across the street at him about. So he comes across the street. They had a cordial relationship. He had been doing some work for her. They had been friends. He comes across the street to talk to her, and it's the video basically to tell her, stop yelling across the street, threatening me and all that other kind of stuff that she's doing behind this money. That as he gets across the street, she's standing there. The video showed, Your Honor, showed the trier of that she's standing there with this object in her hand in Mr. Brown's face. And that Mr. Brown is facing away from her and that she is up on him. With the video, the picture showed you with a fist ball, with a hula hoop in her hand, in his face as he's turned away from her. And Mr. Brown testified that the only physical contact he made with her was to push her away from him because he was reasonably under the impression that she might strike him with that hula hoop. And it turns out that he was right because she admitted that she did hit him with the hula hoop. So we have proffered the affirmative defense. Yes, he pushed her off of him. It is now, and we believe his actions were reasonable. He doesn't use any excessive force. He doesn't knock her down. He doesn't snatch the hula hoop away from her. He doesn't do any further activity other than to get her off, and then she hits him after that. Whether looking at the fact that Mr. Brown was only using enough force to keep this person from committing a battery against him, or looking at the possibility that it is this witness who's inviting conflict by yelling across the street, by taunting Mr. Brown, that she is hitting him herself. She can't then claim that any kind of physical contact is unwanted. She's mad about this money. She's not telling the truth. This whole business about her insisting that he choked her twice is untrue. There are witnesses that were there who could support her position that are not here today. She's claiming that there's some more video evidence that would support her position. She's the one who got the video going in the first place. She should have brought it today, and she didn't. We do not believe the people have met their burden of proof beyond a reasonable doubt that anything happened between these individuals other than the fact that they're in an argument, that the complaining witness advances upon the defendant with an object in her hand, that the defendant reasonably believed that the complaining witness would hit him with that object, and that he pushed her away. She didn't fall down, doesn't do anything excessive. And I'm asking you to find Mr. Brown not guilty.
Any rebuttal on behalf?
Yes, Your Honor. So, Your Honor, it's interesting to the people that defense counsel actually brings up the affirmative defense for this matter, because Mr. Brown actually gave up his right to testify gave up his right to remain silent and testify. And a couple key points during Mr. Brown's testimony, Your Honor, is that Mr. Brown testified and he admitted that he walked across the street while Ms. Fleming was hula hooping or doing whatever she was doing. And that's interesting to know that he walked across the street to approach Ms. Fleming and have a verbal altercation between him and Ms. Fleming. And it's interesting because it goes to show who the aggressor is in this particular matter, Your Honor. If somebody looks threatening or may be threatening to me or to anybody, I'm not even going to use, to a reasonable person, if there's a threat of something's going to happen to you, a reasonable person will not go and approach that threat and confront that threat. And that's actually what Mr. Brown did in this case, Your Honor. And Mr. Brown also testified, which was interesting, that in the video, he had already been across the street as the video started, face to face with Ms. Fleming. And he agreed that that wasn't the beginning of their altercation. There was something prior to that, because the video doesn't show Mr. Brown actually walking across the street. It shows Mr. Brown already across the street. So that speaks to, going back again to Ms. Fleming's testimony, that there was a missing part of this video that was shown in court. And that's why I'm asking the court to find Mr. Brown guilty of assault and battery because Ms. Fleming was credible, and I do believe that Ms. Fleming, was outside hula hooping. Mr. Brown came across the street, he confronted her about whatever dispute that they were having, and that he put his hand around her neck and choked her. And even if the court doesn't believe that, Your Honor, the video that was brought by defense, that was shown in court, shows in the video, Mr. Brown pushing Ms. Fleming as she was standing there with her hula hoop. So even if the court doesn't believe what Ms. Fleming said, the court has actual evidence and video that Mr. Brown actually did push her out of his way and continue to stood there for a couple seconds or whatever the case was, and then walk back across the street. That contradicts the whole affirmative defense because it shows that Mr. Brown was the aggressor in this moment. Your Honor, even if the court doesn't believe that Ms. Fleming was grabbed around her neck or hit, there is video that Mr. Brown pushed her. And in that video, Mr. Brown is seen pushing her while she's hula hooping. And yeah, she does swing her hula hoop in defense to defend herself and walks back. But in the video, there's also a moment where Mr. Brown is approaching her again. Now, there wasn't any audio, but again, I'm asking the court to use their personal experience and common sense in that case, Judge. And I'm gonna ask the court again to find Mr. Brown guilty of assault and battery. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, people have burden of proof beyond a reasonable doubt that on or about September 19, 2023, at or near a location.
April 23rd.
Oh, sorry. That's the parent date. I'm looking at the wrong sheet. Thank you. April 23rd, 2022. At or near. I don't like this. This has nothing to do with this specific case, but I don't like the complaints the way they changed them. The information don't show up readily available to the court like it used to. So whoever had this idea, maybe they watching my proceeding right now and tell them go back to the old complaint. You can't find information. Okay, so I still don't see the address. Nonetheless, right here at a location on Steele Street in the city of Detroit within the county of Wayne. It used to be right there. You look at it, you could see it. Okay. People have burden to prove that an assault or assault and battery occurred as to Joy Williams. In order to meet this burden, people submitted one witness. And then the defendant gave up his right to testify and testified. I'm sorry, you got me saying what you're saying. The defendant gave up his right to remain silent and testified on his own behalf. And so the court is ready to issue a decision. I'm going to get straight to the point of it. So there's an ongoing dispute with respect to some money owed. These people were arguing, Ms. Fleming and Mr. Brown, arguing over a course of time. According to Mr. Brown, Ms. Fleming would yell obscenities at him as he got home and was driving into his own driveway. On this particular day, he was tired of her yelling these obscenities at him, and he got out of his car and he came across the street to confront her about these obscenities. And then they were in each other's faces. She had her hula hoop, and then he said he thought she was going to hit him with the hula hoop, and he pushed her. Ms. Fleming said that before the video started, he actually put his hands around her neck. Now, somebody changed it to choking 2 times, but I specifically have the witness saying he choked her 1 time. Despite you all keep trying to say it was twice, she said he choked her once and hit her. That's the testimony that I wrote down. And then even on cross-examination, she said 1 time. So anyway, and then that 1 time that she said he choked her or whatever, this was not reflected on the video. I find people's perspectives interesting. I do. And so I'm going to address, I guess I'm going to go backwards a little bit, but So it appears to me that, the defense in its argument is claiming self-defense, I think. Ms. Stevenson used a couple of buzzwords that said, you know, the affirmative defense, blah, blah, blah. I was looking for it in my jury instruction, but I think I took it out from the last case because, and it used to be sitting here, but I don't see it. But there is, I don't know if it's the jury instruction or if it's the statute itself, but, you know, with respect to self-defense, one of the things that it literally says is that words are not enough. I'm gonna call you whatever I wanna call you. I can use my mouth in the United States of America, where at this moment on February the 24th, 2024, we're still free now. Right now, we're still free, okay. I can say whatever I wanna say. And speech in the United States of America currently is only restricted in a couple of few ways. And so we have the freedom of speech. And so if I'm in a movie theater and I get up and say fire, I'm guilty. I can't, unless there is really a fire, right? I cannot say, oh, I got the freedom of speech. I can say whatever I want to say. So there are some very limited exceptions to the freedom of speech. And cursing at my neighbor is not one of them. I can curse at my neighbor off the street. Every time they come home, I can say, you a sorry excuse for a neighbor. So on this particular occasion, Mr. Brown got tired of her calling him names. That's according to his testimony that she was going. He came across the street and was like, stop calling me names, and they were in each other's faces. Now I watched the video several times because you all kept playing it. And what I see on the video is two people arguing. They real close up on each other. And then I see Mr. Brown push Miss Fleming. And then Miss Fleming's hit him with the hula hoop. And then I see Miss Fleming's backing up and Mr. Brown coming towards her, and then she's still swinging the hula hoop. Self-defense also says, and I'm paraphrasing because I don't have it right here in front of me, you can't be the aggressor. You can't be the aggressor and then claim self-defense. Mr. Brown lived on the other side of the street. At the point he came over to confront Ms. Fleming, he became the aggressor. I'm in front of my house. Now it looks like they were on the sidewalk that's still, you know, public for passage. So he wasn't on her private property, but I'm on my, over here, we on the sidewalk, you live over there. You came over here and now you up in my face. Yeah, I look like I'm getting ready to hit you with the hula hoop because you in my face and you a man. You in my face, you a man. And the only thing I have at my disposal is this hula hoop. You in my face and you real aggressive in my face, telling me to stop calling you these names. I don't care about the dispute about the money. That's not my issue. I'm not a small claims judge. What I care about is that Mr. Brown came across the street. He was aggressive. They're arguing. He real close to a woman. He real close to a woman who looked real thin to me on that video and in person. And he looked real muscular to me on that video and in person. And the only thing I have in my hand is this hula hoop that I'm going to put around your neck and drag you down the street if I have to, because you're aggressive towards me. You cannot be the aggressor and then say I hit a woman because I thought she was going to hit me with a hula hoop after I came across the street and got up in her face. That's some of the most ridiculous stuff I heard in a minute. Okay. court finds Mr. Brown guilty of one count of assault or assault and battery. That is whether or not he first choked her. Whether or not he first choked her. That's not on the video, but I was also confused a little bit by the defense counsel's arguments that she asked her neighbors to take this video. Usually people don't start videotaping unless there's a reason to videotape. And my neighbor coming across the street aggressive in the face of another neighbor, whether he choked her first or not. So it seems like after something happened, now they get out their video camera and they videotape it. So it's usually not at the beginning of the situation. Nonetheless, I find Mr. Brown guilty of one count of assault, something better. And I do want a pre-sentence investigation. So I'm gonna set the matter for sentencing. April the 19th, if that's a good day for me, I see I have one other sentencing, how many cases? Wait, yeah. Are there any at 8:30?
Two.
What about April 16th? And what about, I think I know that. Well, on the 16th, are there any at 8:30 yet?
Two.
Okay, so that's 16, so that's 26. Okay, well, I can still do it on April the 16th. I'm gonna set the matter of sentencing April 16th at 9 a.m. Ms. Lynise, you have a right to return to court if you choose to give a victim impact statement. Probation is gonna contact you and ask you for a statement. If you wanna just give it to them, then you can. But either way, you are entitled to give a victim impact statement. Okay, did I just give it? Anything further?
Your Honor, just for clarification, is the court's finding on the pushing, that's the?
I don't know that it matters. I find that he assaulted Ms. Lynise. And I think I said, made it clear whether or not he choked her.
Okay. Thank you, Your Honor. No, nothing further on behalf of Mr. Brown.
Well, let me say this. I find that he assaulted and battered her. He put her in fear over the media battery and then he battered her. That's what I find. Okay, anything further? All right, we're all set.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Since he's in person, he can go across the hall and schedule a precinct investigation. I'm gonna have her wait. You wait. Let him go out first. Go ahead and go out, because they talk. Okay, are you going out?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.